Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Alec Cohen coming to you from NAB 2024. We're in Las Vegas, and I'm super happy to be bringing on my friend, Danny Shepard.
Hey,
Danny,
hey.
Tell us where you're from and just kind of like how you got started as a creator and a filmmaker.
Where I'm from, I guess you could say I'm from Vegas at this point. I've lived here most of my life. And what got me into filmmaking? That's a hard question because I feel like it's been different phases. Like, I tried to get my first agent when I was like 10 years old. And I did like some commercials here and there, but that really wasn't like, that was a little more just like, oh, this will be a fun thing to pursue. But I had booked my first movie when I was 13, and I kind of stumbled into the audition.
As an actor?
As an actor,
okay.
Yeah. And as a kid actor, and I had no idea what I was doing, walked in, and they were like, oh, you're perfect for the role. I guess I looked like the people who were cast as the leads who would be my parents, so they were like, instantly knew they wanted me, but I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
They booked me, and it was such a like powerful experience for me that I was like, I have to do this the rest of my life. I have to do this.
That's incredible. So tell me about that transition from acting to filmmaking and how that kind of influenced you long term.
It was a very fluid transition because while I started out as an actor as a kid, like when I went to high school, I took a broadcast journalism class. I learned how to edit in Premiere. I started learning Adobe After Effects when I was 15. And like those are foundational skills that I kind of just was doing for fun, for the funsies, if you will. And I did them to the point where I just started getting better and better and better. And I remember I was making videos with my friends in high school for class. You know, you could do a book report or you can do a video. And I was like, oh no, we're making a...
You got to do the video.
We're making
every
a video.
Time.
Why
it's
would
the best.
Why would I write the essay?
Automatic A.
Automatic A, absolutely. Yeah. And so I basically took all those skills that I had developed with editing and VFX and acting, and I put myself in it. And it kind of just went from there, you know?
I love that. And you're someone who wears so many hats. Like, it kind of blows my mind. I'm not trying to gas you up, but how many things you're excellent at.
I don't know about excellent.
But it kind of raises the question, like, do you think filmmakers who are up and coming nowadays, these Gen Z filmmakers, do they need to specialize in something to differentiate themselves? Or do you recommend that they're generalists so that they have a feel for everything?
I might be biased in this because I feel I am more of a generalist and I do a lot of things. For me personally, I would say a generalist is the way to go in this day and age. Maybe in the 80s, you being a specialist was the only way to get work, but in this day and age, the amount of competition there is, but also, like, not for nothing, being able to make your own projects. If you can do more roles on a set, you can fill those niches in your own production.
Totally.
And like, I learned how to do VFX, again, for fun, but then I started to realize, knowing visual effects is a huge asset as a director.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I was able to, like, the only reason I'm able to work as a professional filmmaker is because you can hire me as a director, a producer, an actor, a visual effects artist. And each of those roles I've been doing since I was 15. So while I haven't been a master at any of them, I've gotten better and better and better and better at all of them with time. So long story short, for me, I think being a specialist is an advantage in this day and age, especially for Gen Z.
Generalist.
Yeah, a generalist.
Being a generalist,
yes,
but it's okay to be a specialist, but kind
Absolutely.
of like have a. And you talked about 15-year-old Danny.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give him one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oy, one piece of advice. I would say that film is a team sport, and that collaboration is the most important part. And the thing I think I would have loved to have mastered earlier is understanding that sharing the vision and sharing the I guess that passion with the crew and allowing everyone on the crew to take ownership of any given production will increase the value and the passion that people invest into your project. It stops becoming your project and starts becoming our project. And I think that's a really valuable way to get an amazing result, or at least, at the very least, a good time.
Yes. Having fun with friends, making art is the best thing.
Is the best thing.
And you made me think of something else that I just forgot, but let's move on to the next thing. Catch people up who aren't as familiar with your filmmaking, content creation career on what you've done, and then give us a little tease of whatever you're working on next.
Okay, so I guess you could say our claim to fame was we made a Nightwing web series based off of the DC Comics character Nightwing, a fan series, back in 2014.
Okay.
It did pretty well online. It's around, the whole thing has close to 15, 20 million views somewhere. It's amazing. You and I have talked about it before, but I only thought it was going to get like 100,000 views. So the fact that it's done
which
as well,
is already incredible.
Totally.
Especially in that era of YouTube.
Absolutely.
And you so casually say 15 to 20 million. I'm like, it's amazing.
I mean, it's, we made it, I would say that was like a major start. People kind of got to know us from there. We've been able to make other projects, and it has awarded us a lot of opportunities. And that was the big thing. We made videos for our YouTube channel for a few more years, got a little bit burned out, and realized, and sort of like, I think reorganized what we wanted to do. And so since then, we've been pushing into more traditional filmmaking. We've shot Second Unit on Netflix productions, shot Second Unit action scenes, which is amazing. We've worked with big brands, Xbox, BMW, Amazon, stuff like that, which is, again, amazing. And then currently what we have coming up is we're actually working on a feature film called Placid Park.
So exciting.
That's like a comedy horror that we'll be shooting next month. So
that is so exciting.
That'll be a good time.
It's been kind of incredible to track your career. I have to act like I'm just learning this information, but I remember where I was when you went live with the Kickstarter for the Nighthawk series.
That's crazy.
Nightwing, I'm so sorry. And
you're going to get flamed for that one.
Yeah, I'm
going
to get flamed for that one. They're like, that's the wrong character. And it's amazing how much you've accomplished, and I'm so excited to see what's next.
I gotta throw it out there, though. It wasn't alone. I was flanked by an amazing group of talented creative professionals who I would not be anywhere where I am without them.
Absolutely.
And I just got to give that dues, and also to my my key collaborator and creative partner, Jeremy Lee. Without him, nothing I would have done would have been possible. So,
he's incredible. His work is incredible.
Absolutely.
And that actually made me remember what I forgot earlier, which is when you kind of start making films in your bedroom by yourself, you kind of assume that's what filmmaking is.
Yeah.
And then once you suddenly have a crew around you, you sometimes will keep that mindset of almost auteur, like I need to have my hands in everything. But what you're saying about collaboration, right, is like learning to release control, right, and not having to micromanage everything actually leads to better products, which I completely agree with.
And peace of mind. I mean, I would put the caveat and say you got to make sure that those are trusted hands.
Yes.
It's super important to, I always love like a test run collaborating with people before anything huge, to be like, all right, are we going to gel? Are we going to vibe?
Totally.
And, but being able to delegate and collaborate, I feel, has not only decreased my amount of stress, but has increased our quality output immensely.
I love that. And you have to actually be a good person and be fun to work with and be good at what you do. And there's like that can be hard to find sometimes, but I feel like you guys have found an amazing group.
I mean, dude, I think that's the number one rule for anyone. If there's someone out there who's trying to do this, number one thing, be a cool person. Because the thing is like, you could be the best in the world, you can be the most talented, but if you are not cool to work with, if you make people feel bad, if you are pushy and aggressive and stuff like that in the wrong way, it's not going to bode well for, I think, long-term collaborations and whatnot. So be cool.
Yes, be cool. You heard it here first. Tell me about sort of, do you think, we're going back to advice that we would give sort of Gen Z, even younger filmmakers, do you think it's important to have a social media presence if you're trying to be a director, if you're trying to be a content creator? Is that something that you need, or is it a good thing to practice? Like, what's your overall methodology about it nowadays?
Post work, get work.
Post work, get work.
I hate to say it. I know, it's not always what people want to hear, but at the end of the day, like having some kind of presence online, being able to post and share your work, if people see your work, they know they can hire you. They know what you can do. And it's possible to do that to succeed immensely, absolutely, without having a social media presence. But having a social media presence isn't going to hurt you.
Yes.
You're more likely to have bigger collaborations and opportunities and people who see your work and say, oh, hey, I would love to work with you on this.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's how we got the Netflix gig, is we were posting videos
amazing.
on YouTube, and the producer saw it and was like, hey, I think you guys would be a good fit for this scene that we need to shoot second unit. And we actually got 2 other scenes that we were allowed to shoot because of that one. So, you know, is it necessary? I don't think so. Is it helpful? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I love that because all it takes is one person.
Absolutely.
Right? And like your network is so important. It's great to show people your work, but you never know when you're just putting things out there.
Totally.
That's kind of the amazing thing about this internet era.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to see it and what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
And so I want to shift the conversation and talk about gear.
Yeah.
And I really just want to know like how you choose your gear because obviously we're at NAB. This room goes a mile that way with every 10 by 10 booth being a piece of gear you could buy.
Yeah.
How do you choose and are you a maximizer or satisfizer? Like you just look at it and you buy it, etc.
So for me personally, like I usually vet any gear purchases through Jeremy, through my creative partner, because for him, he has his finger on the pulse on everything, and his feedback and guidance on what the best product for the job is often has often led to fruitful results.
Absolutely.
I'd say that there are certain things that I pick out and I'm like, oh, I've noticed that I think this is cool for like my workflow because I also do the visual effects, because I'm oftentimes, even if I'm directing something, I'm usually doing producing work or playing, wearing the multiple hats.
Yeah.
I have really been, one thing I do want to say is like the camera cloud in general has been an absolute game changer for our process.
Yeah.
We got the Atomos Connect on the Ninja, and we've been using that on a lot of projects, because one of the things I like to do is do an on-site assembly.
Yes.
I think it's great for morale, for people to see what it is that we're making and try to have something to watch by the end of the shoot. And having that camera to cloud via the Atomos Connect, that's what has worked for our workflow as of right now, cost and technology-wise. But it's allowed us to get ahead of schedules and to honestly like course correct if there's any issues. I mean, the movie that we're shooting next month, we have our scriptie who is essentially going to be going and putting all of her scriptie notes in Frame.io for our editor, who is going to be in Las Vegas cutting it completely remotely. So it's really cool.
That is next level.
So
That's incredible. So people you can trust, brands you can trust, doing your research is what I'm hearing. So tell me just what else are you kind of like, do you now find essential in your kit?
Essential in the kit. I mean,
we were talking about camera yesterday.
We were talking about cameras.
I really like what you were telling me just about like how it satisfies all your needs.
Sure. So we do a lot of action filmmaking. That's kind of one of our staples, I would say. And we have been shooting on the Red Gemini package. That's been our main A-cam for a while now.
Yeah.
But recently we started using the FX30, which is pretty cool. And I won't pretend to be a master of the cameras.
It was
I'm
the FX3, right?
FX3, yes. So sorry.
I love the FX3. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like the smaller bodies in the camera allows us to throw it on a gimbal and get some more dynamic camera moves, some more dramatic moves, and also saves our cinematographers back from carrying a 40-pound red rig. So I would say that stuff like that is having, I mean, the biggest thing is having the right tool for the right job, and it's hard to say that any tool that would be for every job. It's more just like, okay, well, what are we doing today? What are we shooting, a dialogue scene or are we shooting a fight scene? Because that's going to vary what we bring to the table. And of course, that's all me saying it, but it always goes through the filter of Jeremy.
Yes. Again, going back to having people you can trust who know their stuff, who are going to do their research and just make sure you have what you need for the project. I love that so much.
This also goes back to being a generalist. And while I don't need to know everything about everything. I just need to know how to communicate to the right people the right thing.
Yes.
So they can do their job to the best of their ability.
Exactly, because if you go in there, you can do all this research, but
Yeah.
maybe you don't know what 422 is, maybe you don't know what 12-bit is. It's like, okay, Jeremy will know if that makes a difference when
Right.
now it's in your After Effects timeline, and it's like,
100%.
oh, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time. So, Danny, we're getting to the end of our time here. I really want to ask if you had one more piece of advice. We talked to 15-year-old Danny, but
Yeah.
to all our viewers out there, what's something that you can offer that will inspire them for their journey or that change your sort of like ethos as a filmmaker?
I think make things for you. Make things that you want to see. Stop chasing the, well, maybe not stop chasing the trends, but stop chasing the trends, you know? Create something that is fulfilling to your soul, that speaks to you artistically, and if you build it, they will come.
Absolutely.
If you create something that is meaningful to you, it will resonate with someone else out there. I think at least.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic advice. Where can people find you, Danny?
You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Ismahawk, and my social medias are at Danny Leshep and at Ismahawk. You can follow us on there as well.
Beautiful. We're going to have that linked in the description. Danny, thank you so much for sitting down with us at NAB 2024,
Hey.
and we'll see you next year.
Appreciate you, brother.